Okay. What we're looking at here is, we're looking at the western portion of Crossett. I'm talking about the Crossett Port. Now I'm moving around here, but I was going to show you a ridge near the big round ridge. I'm going to draw it out for you here. But really what I started out doing was looking at the Brushy Creek, Little Brushy Creek, Big Brushy Creek. I'm going to go down the road on a couple of places and show you these things eventually here. But right now I'm just trying to look at a ridge. I'm looking at like something that may have been going on several thousand years ago. I'm just kind of looking around. Something that they could have noticed on the ground as well as what we would have noticed in the sky when we go to these places. What do we notice? It's kind of a peninsula. Look at there. It's like so there's a big spot there. It's kind of a high ground. And I'm calling it the Marie Saline Ridge. But now I'm gonna change it up in a little bit, and you're gonna see a little bit different parts of it. And of course, we don't know really exactly what it was like, pre-1985 from the sky. I can't show you, but really what we're looking at here is a confluence of rivers. Number one, a confluence of a bunch of oxbows. How rivers change over time, move around. But then again, near some of these places, there's also known native or indigenous people activity of building these, rounded ridges. And see, like right there, if you look, you can see a face. I can see some eyes and a mouth and a nose there. Some things, if you look, I don't know. I mean, the thing of it is you don't know. You just don't ever know what these people do. And your brain is built to see things, connections on things, even when they're not there. It's called heuristics, and part of that stereotyping. I see someone who's whatever, and I think whatever. That's stereotyping. It doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't have to be good. I see someone, with a shaved head and wearing glasses and standing in front of a whiteboard. I'm thinking, well, he's kind of a geeky fella right there. Some kind of a Walter White chemist or something right there. But stereotypes can be good, but there's all kinds of heuristics that can be bad. Okay, now we're getting into, I want to change up the back. I'm getting different years of, you see I'm making the adjustment. I'm just looking at different years. Over the years, look at there. This is going to be good. This is kind of show different. Now, see, this is what I missed. See there's a little nook up there that, and then again, you've got to think about how this thing would have been at different times. We don't know how the water would have been. We can see how it's been all kinds of ways, and we can see right, like on this image right here. There's a little on all of this white here with the green patches. There's one up there to the top left. It's going almost off the screen. There's a little it's gone off the screen now. It's a little circle. And what is that? Let's get back to Brushy Creek here. So this is crossing, where is this at? 346? But it's other things too. If you ever try to follow a creek, you're going to see that it's called different things in different places. But it's all still a part of the same thing. And I'm talking about even highways do this. You get on a highway, it's 2 or 3 different names at one time. So you're going to see branches and all kinds of little things following down here. But in general, it's all mostly Brushy Branch or Brushy Creek or Little Brushy Creek, I think it's called right here. But it runs through west of town and into the river. And there's a couple of spots where it floods down here. And I've seen, under these conditions where this thing would just do some crazy stuff out here with the culverts and make these big circles driving down. But anyway, we're just kind of looking down through here, trying to follow us what roads I'm at. Sometimes I get lost. And yes, I do have ADHD. Here we go. This is one of the crosses of it. And this looks like Hancock Road. Yeah, this is Hancock Road. And it says the image is maybe 2021 there. I really couldn't see. It was too fast gone. And sometimes it gets me stuck in mode down there where I'm on the road and I have to get out of it. But that's Brushy Creek running down through there. So that there's when it crosses Hancock Road. And I think from here, I'm not recording and the video and the audio at the same time. And I think I go over to actually Road 13. Yeah. And I was wondering if this was going to have, and there's another ridge there to the left of this, but I was wondering if this is going to have the new bridge that Judge Hudson and his team put in out here recently, which is probably really good on a day like today because it has a tendency to flood out there. But this is going to be, I think it is the new bridge. Yes, indeed. It is. It is the new bridge. I pulled it up on one of these at one point in time, like Google Maps or Google Earth, and I was in the wrong place in the year, and I was not able to see the new bridge. But this is the new bridge, and I think this is probably going to solve some of the problem out there. I think that the other bridge was wooden. It had some obstacles up under it, and not only that, but it was probably smaller. So anyway, they've opened things up down there in a couple of places, and hopefully it's going to be better. We're going to find out after today. It's coming down pretty doggone hard. And I'm just kind of right here. I'm on a ground level, and I'm kind of running around here, just kind of get a lay of the land. With Google Earth, you can kind of go in and see up under trees, kind of get how the topography of the land, I think it's called. You can kind of go and see the peaks and valleys, as you might say. I'm on a trip here with the trips and valleys. Oh, no, it's not the trips and valleys. It's the peaks and valleys, Brad. Anyway, ADHD, back to the story. And you also notice I have to go back to north. I get to roaming around down there. And I don't know. See, there's a big ridge right there. And see, that, to me, that looks just, that looks very Native American-ish. And there's a big ridge there, and that's part of it. And there's this, this river there, and that could have been part of the river back then. I mean, and you think about how different this would have set things up. It could have been a part of Brushy Creek there, and the river, and this could have been a fantastic little island. It could have been a fantastic little, peninsula, as such. Who knows? And of course, you roll up on it. These guys did, and at a time where there had been some flooding going on, and it was during the winter, and they realized what they could do with it. And yeah, I love measuring stuff. You may see this. I kind of see a structure, and I think, I wonder how big that is. Just in comparison. To see how wide something is here, and you can see those numbers. Perhaps, maybe if you're on a mobile phone, you can see them, and you have good eyes. My eyes finds it hard to see on a mobile phone. But unless I got some really sharp purple glasses on, come on back. Anyway, we're going to scroll around here. Again, this is over here around I'm looking around Brushy Creek and some of these areas that go, that's just, look at that. See, that looks like Poverty Point to me. You start narrowing down, it's got those ridges, kind of circular ridges on high ground. I wouldn't doubt very seriously there was some kind of a mound over there. But, this is people's personal property, so I guess. I don't know. I'm just looking at it from the sky. I'm not getting too close. I'm not looking at stuff. I'm just looking at stuff purely from the sky. I'm not trying to judge anybody. I'm not trying to be mad at you. That little streak there is about a mile long, I'm telling you, when you force stuff to stay like it is, and humans have a really big... They like doing that, specifically when it comes to rivers. And rivers don't really like to stay so still. They like to move around, as you can see. If you look at all these oxbows, these things, they're very, they move around a lot. And that's probably a good thing. It keeps the basin wider, and it's probably healthy in a lot of ways. But during the Anthropocene, is that we are? The age of the humans, kind of changed things up some. All right, so now we're still running around that ridge. That ridge, though, that what I call that Mauricean Ridge right there, is pretty impressive. It's pretty doggone impressive. And see, I may have been going somewhere else with that, and I don't know. We'll have to think about it later or not. Sometimes it's best to just fly off in the wind. And speaking of the wind, see, I thought at first this was clouds reflecting off of water, and maybe it is, but I think later I found out that it's sand or dirt, And I get off on that. And I can see there's some green up there, so it's kind of a high spot too. So you never know. You never know. Could it be moundish, Lee? I don't know. People, there's natural mounds and there's man-made mounds or human-made mounds. I don't think it's just man. I tell you right now, we're going to build a mound. We're going to put them women to work too. Come on. That's what I'd been doing for sure. Come on, we're going to share it with. This would be fun. This would be, like a religious experience for us all to be involved. And women like, yeah, whatever. But you need to pay attention. A lot of times when I'm roaming around, I think you could probably see my elevation over there. And then when you're down in these river bottoms, it's pretty low. You're going to see anywhere from around 60 to, I don't know, 100, maybe not 100, 60 to 90, running around down there, feet above sea level. And, it's just in different areas there. But like sometimes you see a ridge through there that's 80 foot tall, 80 foot above sea level, and you think, that's pretty doggone tall for down there. Specifically if it's just got pines growing on it. So you can start seeing things here. You start seeing flat areas and kind of wide open areas. There's another area down there called Brushy. This is brushy at all kinds of places. You know what I'm saying? And there's brushy creeks everywhere. So finding Brushy Creek is more like you have to know where it's at. The one that we're talking about here. And this thing runs actually behind me. I'm on Bell Branch area, and it's like right behind me back there. There's Estelle, and then there's Marie Celine, there's whatever else is back there. And Brushy Creek runs down through there. It goes across 13, and then it goes off down into, kind of follows Marie Celine down there, fading off to the north, eventually going into the Felsenthal pool. But that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm off on some kind of a road here. Who knows? I tell you, my brain, I'm going to follow this road right here. It's pretty cool. But I guess I was looking at elevation. That's probably what I was doing. I really just like to look at elevation. And because, elevation tells you a lot. People just have a natural thing, even if you don't know, but you know where elevation you're at. You're like, I need to get up on higher ground here, when you've passed these hills, when you see areas, you can see, and this is another thing too. Whenever I look at that thing right there in the north is where it's at, it's not always that you can look at it like that. But I always suspect that I'm somewhere pretty neat whenever I can see that. I think it's a psychological thing. I don't know. I had to have some physicists or astronomers help me out with that. Not astrologers. No, I don't need any astrologers. I got a hold of them one time and said, yeah, you one of them there Scorpios. Then they told me I was a master number. The numerologist told me I was a master number. I'm like, oh, okay. Everybody's trying to get money out of you, man. Now, you're a master number. Give me some money. Oh, now here we go down here. So this is my favorite area. That little red circle there that's moving to the west. Now it's going to the east. Okay, we can't see it now. It's Mossy Lake. It's all private property. But, man, it's beautiful. God, that is so beautiful. And that little red thing up there. Yeah, I'm going to measure it probably. No, I'm not going to measure it. That little red thing there, that there is Big Mound Ridge. My estimate that thing is about 5,000 years old. I think it's maybe older than that. I say it may be 7,000 years old. I think that it may have been built on the way down to build Watson Break. That's my theory. No, it's not my theory. It's my hypothesis. Just a hypothesis. This is pretty big. That's 2 miles, a little basin area. And I mean, I've heard people talking about that everything there will be water sometimes. Like say 2009, you can pull it up. I may go up to that somewhere there. I don't know. But there's times you can go back and Mossy Lake is huge. It's all around Big Mountain Ridge there. And you can tell why, too. If you're there hunting, you may want to have a place to be. Now, this thing is called, there's a creek that goes up through the mill. And I think it's kind of dammed up by those lakes out there where Cap Gates and all of those folks are buried. But I can tell you this area right here where the mill and all this stuff is at is, I'm guessing, that's probably a pretty beautiful spot. It's a big area, and if you look at it, Crossett is sitting on this rolling area. It's not too big rolling area. It's not like hills that are unmanageable. That's a beautiful spot. And I would be willing to bet that people have been living on this little nook of land for a long, long time. And that's the kind of the general consensus that I'm getting with studying all this. And that's why I'm studying all this stuff. Just kind of seeing where areas were, places that were probably populated. And there's truth behind it. There's been a lot of people live here over thousands and thousands of years. And, when I was younger, I didn't have time to worry about it, didn't have time to think about it. My brain was different. But now, as you get older, I'm in my 50s now. And what free time I do have, this is kind of what I do. Kind of troll around here. And I'm just kind of following these creeks around, just kind of getting a lay of the land. It's kind of hard to without kind of jumping down there and just kind of getting, like I say, just kind of getting down in the middle of Brushy Creek, exploring around. Anyway, hope you're not getting flooded out. Happy Saturday.